Computer printers print documents. Now they do something else. In fact, they can print objects, three-dimensional things in time and space. Let me introduce you to 3D printing. In this speech, I will talk about what it is, its development, applications, and challenges for its almost science fiction technology. Christopher Barnett explains it like this: 3D printing is an additive technology in which objects are built up in a great many very thin layers. It contrasts traditional production methods because it uses less raw materials. And because this process uses software, each item can be made differently without costly retooling. This according to The Economist. To give you the historical picture, the first commercial 3D printer was based on a technique called stereolithography. This was invented by Charles Hull in 1984, and it later was extended to other processes like digital light processing, laminated object manufacturing, and Charles Hull, noticing this, patented this technology in 1987 because it was going a lot of different ways. The process begins, I'll tell you a little bit about the process. The process begins with a model. Usually this model is made on a computer, and then the model is uploaded to a machine, which then the machine uses that as a guideline, and the product is printed layer by layer until it's a finished product. To tell you a little bit about the applications of 3D printing, there are a variety of uses for it. I'll talk about these. Largely manufacturing. The Economist lists a great many of these uses. Medical implants, jewelry, football boots designed for individual feet, lampshades, racing car parts, solid-state batteries, and customized mobile phones, as well as architecture, engineering. Architects will use a 3D model of something to make a model to show the design of something, and they'll show that to their client. I came across an article in ScienceDaily.com dated May 22nd where a baby had stopped breathing on a regular basis, and it was due to a collapsed bronchial tube. They found hope at the University of Michigan, the parents, where a new bioresorbable device that could help, Kaiba was the name of the child, and the doctors obtained emergency clearance by the FDA to create an implant, a tracheal splint, made from a biopolymer, and it was made in a 3D printer. So, to update, the child came off the ventilator 21 days after this procedure and has had no trouble breathing ever since. In an article by Reuters, NASA is investing in a 3D printer that makes food for astronauts. They can go up into space and have custom meals made for them by this device. Systems and Materials is the company making this, and they are quoted on Mashable.com as saying that Systems and Materials intends to create nutritionally rich, aesthetically appealing, and tasty synthetic food by combining powdered proteins, starches, fats, flavors with water or oil to produce a wide array of recipes. This food has a long shelf life, and because of this there will be zero waste. And it will also enable the user to alter the nutrient content of the food, so that the individual nutrition needs are met. Finally, I'm going to talk about the challenges that are facing 3D printing. It's a very expensive technology, but as it's becoming more available to ordinary people, the price to do this is coming down, and with consumer models ranging from $500 to $2,000, people can make their own products. This has wide-reaching impacts, and there are challenges also. For example, one of the higher-up executives at Philips Electronics, Peter Weismerhausen, he was approached and asked whether it was a viable business idea, and he thought about it. How could this work? And he eventually developed a prototype and gained people's attention and found investment money to make it happen. So it was showing people, and the challenge of showing people how this technology is relevant to them, how it would have any use in their ordinary life, was one limitation. Another limitation is the size of the products that you can make with these 3D printers. Currently nothing bigger than a mini fridge can be made. I have spoken about 3D printing technology, some of its applications and challenges, and it's exciting to think that objects can be materialized in a device that's like the size of a filing cabinet, and it kind of reminds me of Star Trek, but the evidence is all around that 3D printing is making its mark on the world. Thank you.